Alright, welcome back everybody. We are getting ready to get started with Astalon, Tears of the Earth with Miinfin, so please take it away.
How are we doing, everybody? Like I said, my name is Miinfin. I'll be running Astalon, Tears of the Earth, New Game Plus, all bosses. Shafi has already seen this run once before, and he knows what to expect. So, like most New Game Plus, we start off with some things that we had from the previous one. We still have to go collect some other things, and the devs went one more step and basically said, hey, the map's going to be a little different too. So time will start once we gain control of our main character, so I will let you know when that goes, because there is a Unity loading thing that takes a little bit. So, and Malacross already knows exactly what emote to use there.
That's right.
Anybody? I should be coming up here in just a second. As soon as we get off the loading screen and we see the blue guy, go ahead and start time. It just depends on how long it takes Unity to get everything loaded up. Let's go. So we start off here in a tower. The story behind all this is that there are some Gorgons which have come alive in a tower, and they're trying to basically take over the land so they can eat all the humans, so that way they can stay alive. And right now I'm trying to do a weird little trick which is sometimes kind of annoying. And this is one of those things where if this was a PB run, that would have been reset. But hey, we're good. So we're taking advantage of a jump animation glitch with Arius, where if I swing the sword then jump, like within like a frame afterwards, I get a slight little boost so I can get higher than the standard 2 bricks that I can jump up. That way I can grab a hold of that ladder 7 instead of doing the puzzle. Most of the time that's faster. But now, the emote that I'm used is going to be very relevant, because in this run of any percent, we do go find the butt Gorgon and get the key out of it. And then with that, we are going to be going on and start doing some of this stuff before we get to the first one. So, like I was saying about the story, we're in here hunting some Gorgons, so that way they can be destroyed and not take over everything. So, the main game starts off with 3 characters. We got Arius, which is the guy here in blue. We got Algus, which is an old wizard in yellow. We got Keely, which is red. And then we have 2 other characters that we can find out throughout the base of the game. With this being NG+, we already have those 2 main characters, and we will use them in a couple spots, but that's about it. The star of this game will actually be Keely, for the most part, in New Game Plus, because most everyone else just relatively sucks in comparison. We just use Arius for a little bit here in the first portion because, well, he's actually useful here, and that's about it. His thing is he takes less damage, he swings his sword fast, and that's about it. Algus is a wizard, so he's got some magical stuff, and then Keely has a bow, which, as you upgrade it through the game, gets an ultimate ability that uses our currency to basically go pew-pew across the screen. And we will use that to take down pretty much every boss. And it's great. So, through the course of this, we are going to be hunting down a few masks, because with all bosses, I do need to collect a few extra items that we don't normally have. So, and we're going to take advantage of that. Oh, it's always nice if we can get the stairs first try. Second try is not too bad. Ow. I am a little reckless with my health, but I try not to die. It's okay. So that mask I shattered there had red glowing eyes. We need to destroy 6 of them in order to get a spell that lets us kill ghosts. In the meantime, we're just going to make ourselves some rooms. We are going to be slashing some little bugs across the way. Now you'll see me jump a lot on some of these. So the animation on these characters do not allow for you to move and attack at the same time. So if you're in the middle of an attack animation, you actually stop moving forward. So if I need to move, I will jump right beforehand because it makes it faster. A little bit of a damage boost there, because that makes this room a little bit faster and I get to skip an entire cycle. And we're going to purposely damage boost you here, because the cool thing about New Game Plus, I have full health based off of the save I'm on. Which, the great part about this is, we've actually got a save on the speedrun site, which has everything set up ready to go. So that way it carries over the orbs and everything that we need for this, because Like I said, Kuli's beam weapon uses 500 orbs per. So we definitely have more than enough to get us through an entire run and never run out. But if you do one out of a straight completed save that you did on your own, yeah, might run out after a while, so it won't be quite as fun. So we're on our way to go get what's called the Ascended Key, which lets us use the elevator, like what we saw at the beginning. In the regular any percent run, we don't use the key. It's useless because we do a straight shot to the top, and if we die, that's it. It's game over, reset the run. On this one, we do have to do some backtracking, so we need the key. So it's going to be very important. Quick fall through here, do a little slight glitch to just basically teleport right over that. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I've been doing it the last couple runs, and I'm like, cool, new glitch found. Sometimes it works in my favor because then or works against me because I will just walk into something that hurts. And this is a catchy soundtrack, so if you love Boppy soundtracks, please keep listening. It's great. We even have one that's going to be fantastic here in a little bit. Or I say in a little bit, but it's closer to the end. Alright, so we have 2 more masks we have left to go. It's part of what we're doing right here. I killed the wrong thing, what happened? And there's one more on our way to the last boss. So, just a few more rooms to go. Okay. Alright, now one of the things that you will see me do quite a bit later, not so much here, is if we need a damage boost, I will almost always try to take damage from projectiles versus just walking through some. Reason being, for some odd reason, the actual attacks do far less damage than the bodies of the beasts. If I were to run into something that has a projectile, I'm taking anywhere between 2 to 5 damage, for the most part. If I were to get bodied by something, I'm going to take anywhere between 12 to 25. And that's not fun. That's like a quarter of my health by the time I get to that point. Now, you will see me collect... I didn't want to hit that there, but that's fine, whatever. That's the last mask. So now we're going to go on to our first boss, Tauros. He's going to be the first of the Gorgons we're going to fight. But you'll see me collect various keys throughout this game. Whites, blue, and a couple red ones. The blue ones are primarily used to unlock, like, somewhat side areas, which are not, like, super secret, but they're not dire to the main story. White ones are primarily for story progression reasons, and red ones are for super secret areas. And we'll be collecting 2 of those so we can actually complete the game, as all bosses. Yeah, hugs hurt. I'm gonna drop down here, try to get 1 hit, so depending on where he spawns, Tauros is very RNG. If he had spawned right next to me, we might have gotten him down in 1 sight. We may not be that lucky. I'm gonna follow him here into the flood a little bit, so we can get him before we have to deal with wasting 20 seconds. That is our first boss down. The only reason we don't use Kuli here is because her beam weapon normally does multiple hits. Except for Tauros and a few other things. It will do a single hit, and the beam just does nothing. And it's very slow. We don't like slow in a speed. Now, this Gorgonite, this is the red one. There are 3 of them we need in order to get to the final boss, even though we're going to be fighting an additional Gorgon who doesn't have the eye. This is the first and the easiest. The third one is going to be I would say it's supposed to be the hardest of the bosses to do, but Solaria in New Game Plus is really easy. And also, when we get to our second Gorgon, we're going to see if I can pull off the trick that lets me get it before it goes to phase 2. I've been working on it, and it's been rather consistent. Alright, so now we're on Kuli. And you probably already saw me go pew-pew. If you missed it, here it is again. Kuli will do this at pretty much almost every attack through the game, with a couple exceptions for where we need to build up a multiplier, which lets us do more damage. We primarily use that on bosses, so you see it right there. So anytime we hit someone with a regular arrow, provided we don't miss or exit the room, for the duration we're in that room, we do a multiplier of damage up to 1.5%. Very handy on bosses, because they just drop even faster. Unfortunately, we don't really use it too much until we get to Valantis, which is the second Gorgon boss. Right now, I'm working my way through some back rooms, because like I said, the blue keys are for side areas, but they're mainly used for progression. We're going to end up using that big old skull here in a minute. We're going to go get the thing that activates that. So that is called the Void Charm, which you see in a room over there, but we gotta make one side trip because of the category we're in. Kill that thing. Activate that beam. Hop around the scarab. Oh good, he didn't hit me. They hurt a little bit. What? He didn't hit the... Wow, I don't think I've ever missed that guy. Thank you. He died to one beam, and I managed to shoot around you every time. That's new. But that's okay. I still have health. We're fine. Kool-Aid just takes more. It's fine. The reason we made this detour is, like I said, we need white keys for progression. In all bosses, we are using more white keys than we normally would, so we need to detour for a couple of them that we normally wouldn't need to get. And it seems like there are less of them in New Game Plus than there are in regular New Game. So, we want to make sure we get all the ones we need. Dodge that ghost a little bit. Now we're going to backtrack and go get that Void Charm. See this guy? Those guys are fun. They throw bombs at you. We just kill them before they get a chance to really do any damage. Ooh, missed the spikes. That's fine. Now we're going to get the Void Charm. Yeah, of course, Shape. That's exactly right. It's never a marathon until something hasn't happened before. But I also found a few reroutes which save some time. So instead of me having to backtrack, because now we are going to go get a couple different things that we normally wouldn't in the normal New Game Plus any percent. So the first thing we're going to be going to go get is what we call Athena's Bell. It allows us to swap between the characters without having to use a campfire, which is normally how we have to do it. This is going to be handy because it's going to allow us to get to a few areas a little bit easier. But it's also, like, for getting through some of the puzzles later on in the game, we're going to need it anyway. And since it's here in this area, we need to get it now. That is one of the fun things they did with New Game Plus in this, is instead of items being right where they were normally, a lot of the game items like that have changed locations. So, Athena's Bell is not where it normally is. Which is great, because I had to relearn where all of these items were.
Could I just chime in with the donation real quick?
Go right ahead.
All right, we've gotten a $20 donation from Murig7 saying, did somebody say Bucky hard mode? I do have to say that we've already reached the Bucky hard mode incentive, so if you want to put that money towards something else, please just let us know in chat.
Let's go. Hard modes are always fun. Alright. Now we just gotta wait for platforms. Platforms are slow. If only that doorway was just a little bit shorter, I could just hop up there and it'd be fine. Alright, dodge these guys a little bit. Now, when I was first routing this, I thought I needed the Griffin's Claw to go get this because of some of these jumps and stuff. And then it turns out that Julie can jump just high enough, and with one Griffin Claw thing like that, where she can jump off the wall, because that is her special ability. She gets to, like, wall jump. She gets an item later that lets her infinitely wall jump. Until then, I can do it once, and that's it. Per jump, at least. I have to touch solid ground before I'm able to do it again. But there were a few of those where I didn't think I was going to make it, and turns out I could. So, I was able to reroute to get some of this earlier, so that way I don't have to worry about it. See if I can jump between things. Cool. Nah, I don't. Please, thank you. And this is what the Athena Bell lets me do. I get to swap between all of those guys. Ah! I didn't want to switch until here. What was I doing? So now we get to play... I'm sure everybody remembers dodgeball from high school and things like that. Well, we're going to play Dodge Arrow. So to get the Lunaria Bow, we have to dodge 7 rounds of arrows falling from the ceiling. So far we've gotten 3 rounds without having to move. This is awesome. really bad aim, and then they throw one where I just can't dodge. That's fine. It's only 2 damage. And then we collect the Lunaria Bow. The Lunaria Bow does something for Keely. It not only increases her rate of fire, so she fires a lot faster, but also whenever it hits a wall or a monster, it will shoot beams up and down, which you'll see right there. Which honestly, for the most part, isn't too handy, but there are certain, like, face switches that we need that particular part of the ability for. But it also allows us to be very, very fast on the next boss. Well, next 2 bosses, I should say. We are just making our way, so we have to backtrack through here because there is something we need to get. And completely missing those guys threw me off. Ow, come on. Now I'm being reckless with my life, but it's okay. So we're gonna hop down here, do those guys, and we're gonna go into this hidden room over here. We get to walk through a wall. Look at that. Now this is why we had to hit all of those faces, because this unlocks a spell that we call Vanish. This allows Algus, which is the yellow guy, to basically damage ghosts and spirits, which otherwise we couldn't touch. Fun fact, it also works for Zeke. Which is not anything that's ever told, because he can also damage the ghost too as long as you have Vanish. So now we're going to backtrack and cut our way through with the elevator. This is why we need the Ascendant. Oh yeah, the music is pretty solid, and I see we got the Messenger Golem Jam animation going. Even better. Another great game that I used to run. Alright, so now we are going to proceed, and we've got our next 2 bosses coming up. One of which is the Black Knight, which is a mini-boss we come across a few times in the run. If we're playing a regular story, any percent, then we fight him a total of 3 times. In all bosses, we fight him 2 times because the first time, we never actually is part of the story, and we don't see that cutscene in New Game Plus. And if we were in just any percent New Game Plus, then we fight him once and that's it. Because it's not that important. We're going to hop down here. We're going to need that door in a minute, but we're going to take care of the Black Knight first. Now, you kind of get an idea for how fast Keely's Beam can just rip someone apart. See that health bar? Bye-bye health bar. It's not just a game. I've just put way too much time into it, and I had to retire because otherwise I was never going to be happy. Julie, please, thank you. Okay, that right there is something that has never happened before. That is brand new. Just getting stuck on the corner of something. That's fine. That's fine. So now we're on our way to go get the Griffin Claws, which is something that we're going to need. And for anybody who has seen me run this category before, after I get the Griffin Claws, you're going to notice a route change, which actually saves me from having to backtrack through this room and the room underneath it, and the room I just was in. So it actually saves some time, because I am taking less time to get back to where I need to. Fuck that key, because we need it. Now, some of these rooms, what happens in them actually changes based on the progression you've done in the tower. So, like, if I was getting these items after having beaten Volantis and doing some other things, the green slime would actually be going a different direction. It's weird. We now have the Griffin Claws. Woo! And this is the route change. We're going to plummet right down through. Well, I wasn't supposed to miss that platform right there. Oops. Sometimes they throw their little boomerangs in the wrong way. Now this route is actually going to be faster for, there's a slightly different way I could take, but it's still faster for the regular any percent New Game Plus because we still get to go through a different room and we don't have to do any backtracking. Die, you blobby thing. Alright, now we're coming up to Volantis, who's going to be the next boss we have. And then we get to go into a first of our optional bosses after that. We got a little bit of puzzling we need to do. Because we have got to be able to get up there. That's part of the thing I miss about Black Knight runs, is I don't have the super jump. I want super jumps. That key. We're going to activate this elevator, which we will never use. And now we're in Volantis. Case in point, the reroute saves 3 seconds. I've got my timer up. And now, let's see how fast this Volantis fight is. So the key trick is because of her increased fire, we're going to get him down to about here. We're going to wait till he unleashes his second attack. Okay, so he would have needed to do either the first attack he did, or there's a version of that he does that does 2 sine wave orbs, and we can kill him before that goes out. If that second attack is a long attack, that worm never appeared. We almost had it. And now I have to wait for this animation for the thing to come out. I collect my orb that's going to drop. Now, that is what you call a fat gold. That's a 23-second time save just because of how fast the Lunaria bow is. Get some extra health because we're going to need it. So our first optional boss is going to be the Cyclops King. Now, I'm going to be doing a little bit of like mazing around and stuff before us to get to it because it's not super easy to get up to. That's fine. Excuse me, change directions, please. Alright. So the whole reason we're doing this is because we need to collect a white key. But in order to get that white key, we need to use a white key in order to get to the white key. It's kind of interesting. Like, we have to use one of our story keys in order to get the story key that lets us progress because of the way the rooms are set up. And it's like, okay. Unfortunately, there's no easy way around it. I have tried. The only way around it just like loses like a minute and a half. So it's fine. Oh, all right. See, this music's so boppy that I will find myself humming it and wanting to just like bop along to it. And sometimes that makes me not pay attention to what I'm doing, so I really don't want to die because the music's so good. Now we have to wipe this entire room out so we can get a white key. Like I said, use a white key, get a white key. Alright. And now we're going to taunt him to do that. Oh look, it's another Cyclops, right before getting into the Cyclops room area. Gee, I wonder what this leads to. Alright, so we've only got a couple things to hit. hit this switch, we go through a couple rooms. I've got enough blue keys for right now, so it should be fine. I shouldn't need any more for the rest of the run. So, if I needed one, there's actually one hidden in one of those jars. Alright, and if I need help, I've got 3 lanterns here. I might do something with them later. So the whole point of the hidden Cyclops area, normally we would need an item to get it. New Game Plus, we don't need it. And if you see the, like, skull count that's up here next to my keys, normally, in order to get to the boss, we have to kill a requisite number of Cyclops in order to lower that door that you see up there. Now, that blue gem is not my Cyclops king that I need to kill. So I don't need to go through this whole thing to kill all 35 or more of those in order to fight this guy. And he drops an item that we would normally need in order to get a alternate character. But you know what? He's dead, it's there, we've already got him, bye. That's all we need. We just have to run in here to kill him. So, all bosses basically dictate we have to kill anything that has that red health bar. So, we have to make our way out of our way to go find a couple things in order to do that. We're gonna get those 2, and then that one. So we'll get them. There is a weird glitch in this game that if you, if I can talk, 2 or more of those candle things, if they are all destroyed at the same time, you only get the effect of 2. They will all shatter, but only 2 worth of orbs will happen. So it means on some of these things we have to be careful and time it. Also, very specifically, took the stabby, so I only take 2 instead of 11. And I don't have to take the damage from the spikes. So now we have to do a very precise jump here. I missed the precise jump and got something harder. It works. That's how we do things. Whee! Teleport. Alright. So we're basically just going through this entire area to get to the second Black Knight boss because there's nothing in here we actually need. We basically cut out the entirety of this zone of the game just to get to one boss, and that's it. Who needs to go exploring? Whee! Alright. White key in here. Again, activate the elevator we will never need. And when we get to the end of this room, just before the second drop, it'll close. Oh no! It's the Black Knight! He's back! If you're lucky, you'll get the right attack pattern where you don't have to worry about getting hit. But that's Black Knight 2. Oh man, it was almost hard this time. Whoop! Now we're into what is arguably the most annoying and hardest area of the game. So, this is where I might not talk quite as much, because there's a couple areas where I need to make sure I am actually legitimately not dying. Because all the monsters in here also body you for the most amount of damage. But for the most part, like, the first half is kind of easy. It's also the biggest area of the run. It's actually quite so big of a section of the run, we actually have a split that breaks it up to the halfway point, so we know we've hit halfway through the run. Doing that so I can reset the timer on those spikes so I don't have to wait for the full cycle. Makes it a little bit faster. Alright. Wait, did my arrow just go through that? My arrow's going through that door. Why is it going through that door? That shouldn't go through the door. I should walk through the door if my arrow's going through the door. That normally doesn't happen. It usually just explodes on it. Alright, now we got a couple hearts. A couple beating hearts. So in other words, I am performing a heart attack. That was a really bad pun, and I will never say it again. Whee! Do some dodging here. Oh, okay, I don't know why I didn't take damage from those spikes, but I am not going to complain in the slightest. Ooh! I don't think I've ever corner kicked and not take the damage there. Oh no, I took 5 damage that I meant to take. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, we're almost to that halfway point.
Can I just speak up with the donation?
Sure, go right ahead.
Alright, we received a $30 Canadian donation from Voodoo Foo, and they're putting it towards the Donkey Kong Country True Ending.
Ooh.
Sorry, Donkey Kong Country 2, I should specify.
True endings are always fun. And here's the halfway point. We got 3 heads just looking at us. Corner jump. Do I get it? Alright, got it. 2 damage to basically not have to deal with that room. Fantastic. Now, I will forewarn this area where my chatting might not get as active because there's a few close calls in this area. And I need to make sure I just don't die on or take massive amounts of damage. Because the other problem with this entire thing is we don't save. I have one accidental save from the very beginning of the game. And I really don't want to reload that save. Because that means all of this I have to do all over again. Whee! Bum, 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 bum. Alright. So now we are about to get introduced to one of the most annoying and most hated the Wraith. Of course he was spawned there. Son of a... So they body you for the most amount of damage, and they can spawn anywhere. They are... If you've ever dealt with Wizrobes in like Legend of Zelda or Messenger, you have an idea of the pain that these things cause, except these are more annoying. Yes, keep spawning up there, that's fine. Alright. Alright, bye, big worm. Alright, so we are going to be going in here, because we're going to be getting our first red key. Wait, what am I doing? That. Alright, because that is faster than having to try to drop down and not take damage. I just forgot what button I needed to use for the attack. That's cool. We're good. We're fine. Alright. So one of the death traps is done. we're gonna have another one coming up, and I'm gonna be hitting every possible lantern I can hit for a little bit, because there is gonna be a point where I do want to die. So I don't want to get too high on health. Because I'm going to purposely want to die at a certain point. And if I'm lucky, I should be fine with that. Also, having to watch where those things are going to spawn at, because, yeah. Alright, so I need to remember to activate this. I will need this to come back for something. Because we need an item for one of our other people. Purposely take the damage. Alright, cool. The Dark Rooms. I recently had a incentive to play one of the alternate screen styles or color styles, and black and white ended up being the one chosen. And oh my god, this room was so hard in black and white, I might as well literally have been playing it blind. Ow. Not where I wanted to take damage, that's fine. We're cool. I should survive. Do that one snipe shot. That way these guys die in one beam. Now, one of the other differences between New Game Plus and this one is this room has a blue background in the regular game. In New Game Plus, it's red. It is otherwise mostly unchanged. Actually, I think this room is almost identical. I was not paying attention to what attack he was doing. So I'm going to have to use a little bit of time in order to get some lanterns here in a little bit. I swapped the room too early. Whew. Okay. So, provided I don't land on these spikes, we should be fine. Alright. Of course you would spawn in my way. Why wouldn't you just be in the way? Alright, cool. Alright, so now we're in Solaria. This is the third Gorgon. This also gives us the last eye. So if we were just doing any percent, this is where I would basically go to the final boss. But I'm going to have a couple areas I need to go to afterwards. I'm going to take a little bit of damage here, but otherwise... And this is where Solaria just gets her face melted. Because the Gorgon does not have much of a health bar. Alright, and that is Solaria. A pretty easy fight. Alright, so now we get to do some backtracking. So that elevator that I said I needed to not forget to activate, we're going to need to go back because we're going to be going into a section so I can get the ultimate part for Braum, which allows me to basically destroy orange blocks. So I can punch through them. I need that for to get to the final area and the final set of boss and collectible things that we need. And we're going to go here. We're going to go to Ruins of Ash 2. One thing we need to make sure here is we don't just fall off here because we will land on a big head, and that big head hurts. Here, though, I can just quick drop down. Please don't... Oh, thank God I moved. Woo! We're gonna do this. So you can actually kind of see when it works and when it doesn't, because there's jumps right get up there and there's jumps right don't. Alright. And now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna, instead of just dropping down this ladder, this way I don't have to wait for that whole platform. Ow. That's fine. I won't take too much damage through this, but there's going to be a point where I'm going to very purposely use my... Oops. Free don't die. But I do need to be a little careful through some parts in here. Because I really don't want to use that too early. Like there. Okay, now I have to be really careful through part of this. Because any of these things can kill me in one shot. Ooh, okay, so this is going to be a point where I'm... Enjoy the tunes. I am not going to do a whole lot of talking. I really don't want to die. Okay. Alright. Safety save. That was not what I wanted to do. Well, that was not supposed to happen. And I realized I can't use safety save because it will reset my timer. So it's fine. It's cool. We'll just be redoing a little bit. It's fine. I overestimated anyway, so this gives us some time to make that room up. It's okay. I was not supposed to run into that flying squid. So this is where, like, just because I don't want to be at super high health, you're gonna see me do some very crazy strats just to... Actually, you know what? We've got the extra time. Ow. Oh no, I took damage. Whatever shall I do? The only reason that's not a viable way for me to get through that room is because I'm usually at low health going into that room anyway. Alright, so, lesson learned, watch where you walk. Alright, so, no biggie, we're good. I could have just taken a safety rest, but it would have been about as useful. Alright, so, now that none of that actually happened, alright, so I actually need to take as much damage as possible because leaving this area is far faster just to die than it is to try to get out the normal way. Oh no! Actually, that kind of sucks. Now I gotta wait for the platform. Alright, so now we're gonna go up to this room. And this is the item that we were going for. Because the intention was for me to die here. Now I wanted to die. Alright, and now with this, now let's get the inner fire back. Oh no, I wonder if I have enough for it. Alright, so now this time we're going to be going to the Subterranea, which is where we will find our final Gorgon. Ow. That's fine. That's Gemini. And then we will also be I can't talk. Getting the stuff for the final side boss, which is Astalon, which used to be one of the most annoying things ever until I figured out how to beat him. Or at least beat him easier, I should say. I found it a less annoying way to fight him. But this is the primary reason we needed the Lunaria bow. Because I know I used it to get to a red key earlier, but we could get to some other red keys without needing the Lunaria bow. But I need the Lunaria bow in order to get to Subterranean, because we otherwise cannot open that up. And jump. Ow. I do kind of like play a little more close to this area, but it's not quite as necessary, because there are ways for me to leave the Subterranean area after getting the Adorned key. But you can do it without dying. Sometimes it's faster to die. It really just depends on the amount of health that you have. So if you're low, just die. If you're at like 80-ish health, just go ahead and try to get through it the normal way. I'm just not going to go out of my way to heal or take anything that's not really too much damage. And this is by far the best soundtrack in the game. Unfortunately, we only hear it while we're in here. Why wait for the platform? There's actually a metal cover of this particular song, I believe, somewhere. And this room is... Well, this and one other room is why we need Vanish. Because that is a ghost type, and I have to kill all of the monsters in order to open that door. So it is vitally important that we have Vanish. Ow. Alright, now. Let's see if corner jumps will cooperate with me. You know, I'm going to kill you just because if they don't cooperate, thank you. I don't want to take a whole lot of damage just from falling on the same bloodworm over and over. Alright, so let's see here. There's not going to be too much more that we're really going to need. Oh, actually. Even for... Oh. This way. There we go. And that was the other room I needed him for, because otherwise you can't kill that flying ghost head. Alright, so we will never see Algus again. There's literally nothing he's useful for between here and the end of the run. Ow! That was not intended. And those fallen things I gotta watch out for because they zigzag, but they have a random zigzag pattern. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Alright, we're going to be switching to Arius over here in this next room. Because... Ow. He takes less damage on the spikes. And that's far easier than trying to go up the ladder just to drop back down into the same room we were just in. We had to go around and hit that switch so we can make our way all the way around here just to get through this door. Like, why couldn't they make a puzzle room easier? Come on. Ow! Jump, please. Jump button. Thank you. And I can ignore pretty much everything in this room. Alright, now we're going to run into probably the most fun centaur fight here in a minute, because we basically literally get to backstab him. He will never back into this corner, he never turns around, and all of his attacks go the other way. So it is literally the easiest of those fights that I can think of. Alright, so that's Subterranea. Unfortunately, that's it. We aren't going to get the awesome music anymore. It's sad. Now we get to say hi to Gemini. Gemini has two faces, two phases, and two faces. So, it's an interesting... Well, that took longer than it should have. Thank you. He's gonna zip over. Actually, I don't know if I can if he'll damage me here or not. That's fine. And that's Gemini. No eye for me to collect off of him. I literally just have to survive, collect the orbs, and then I go through here. Actually, I'm going to need her for a little bit. Now we're going to collect our second red key, which is very close to what we need anyway. Because we need that red key to get into the final area, which is the castle roots. Which is where we will fight ghost versions of Arius, which are unofficial bosses. They have the health bar, but they aren't registered as a boss. And judging on my health, I will probably just make my way through here and die, because it will be faster. Now, just to kind of show what I was talking about with these earlier. Oh, I only got... Okay, yeah, I still got the two. Okay. I was like, I only got one worth. Now, that orange block right there is going to be very important here in a minute. And which is where we're really going to use Zeke for the first time. And only time. But we got to make our way through here to hit a few buttons. Because we need to open up that door down there to get that key right there. But to do so, I need to make my way around. Now let's see if Red will cooperate, because the last time I did this, she kept not making that jump. And now we get to be super careful and not die with Zeke. We have to be very, very careful to not drop this block and leave the screen without it on my back, because otherwise... if I can talk, otherwise I have to go back and get it. That was an unfortunate place for that to drop. Alright. Now while we're done messing around, that's fine. Okay. I spent too much time on that than what I really should have. Now I get to the point where I might accidentally drop this if I don't do this right. It might go down that hole. I don't want it to go down the hole. That is not what I wanted to do. Ooh. Alright. Well, that was a little scary. That's fine. We're good. I have accidentally done this. Try to hit that door. And, yeah, the door keeps me from getting in here, so, I've had to go all the way back from there. Alright. Goodbye. Let's get the Adorned Key. Now we have the ability to fight Valhalla. And now, guess what we're gonna do? It's a hint, we're not gonna heal. Alright, so we are almost at the end of the run. We have one extra boss, and then the final boss. And that's it. We're almost there. This has been an interesting run so far because I've just goofed some things in all kinds of fashions, but that's fine. What kind of run would it be if it was always perfect? Alright, so we are going to go down a hidden ladder that's right here. Blow up the gargoyle. Switch to Braum because we're going to need it. Because we have to get through some doors down here. But we're also going to use Braum to beat Valhalla. Because his little axe throw thing is what lets us basically do a continual stream of damage to Valhalla without having to worry about doing a whole lot of dodging and placement shenanigans. Now, Valhalla is like the Centaur key. The only problem is the only place I can hit him at is his head. But with this, we can mostly just do a continual stream of damage. And beat him a lot faster than normal. And so now it's just a matter of should be gone in a little bit. We can keep tossing these axes Castlevania style. And dead. Alright. Now we're going on to our last boss. Who, it's the king slash queen slash ruler of the Gorgons, however you want to look at it. Needless to say, they are pretty easy. At least in this category. It's a whole lot of pew pew and you die. Or, well, they die. But We are almost at the end of the run. Oh no, I took some damage that I'm not going to need. But this is why we needed the Gorgon Eyes from all of the Gorgons. It's because it turns on the elevator. Buffer the up key. Thank you. Exactly. That's my kind of joke. Oh look, it's the Black Knight again. Oh no, whatever shall we do? The only time we really ever actually have to do the multiplier attack on him. Now the cool thing is that multiplier, as long as I don't ever actually shoot my arrow again, will carry through all of the phases on Medusa. So yeah, so time actually won't be too far away. It's going to be on the last hit of Phase 3 for the Gorgon. So once the stones come up on the side of her head, that's when it starts the actual phases, and the third phase will be the last one. 2, 5... This phase shouldn't last too long. Alright, and time's going to be coming up here shortly. We got it in 3, 2, 2.5, 1, 1 3/4, and time. I was way off on that. But that is Astalon, Tears of the Earth, New Game Plus, all bosses.
All right, that was fantastic.
Oh. Now, if I didn't die, this probably would have been a PB, and I'd have to go through the credits, but now I don't have to. But now I did put in an estimate for a hour 15, and I don't want to end up eating up or having to like cause a 15-minute shift and everything. But what I can do is I am going to reset the game, and I'm going to show off one meme ending for the game. It's an ending you can only get if you do the regular new game. You just start the game, and you have to do it at the beginning. You cannot do it at any other time, otherwise it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. So we're going to delete that and start a new game. You go into Tears of the Earth. You gotta let it load. There's some story. But there's a way to get a game ending right at the beginning. It was joked that this would be like a true, like, any percent because of how fast it is. But, given that it's a meme ending, I don't think it ever really seriously got considered. But this is how the story gets set up. I'm cutting through a whole lot of it, but the whole reason we survive at the beginning is he casts a spell that says, well, if I or my people die, like that, if everybody dies, then we reset time back to this point. But certain things carry over. But now here's the thing. They're all rushing in. And you know what? I'm a young kid. I'm just gonna nope my way out of here. For unknown reason, Arius abandoned his friends and decided to leave the tower. After many years of sadness and regret, he passed away. August and Cooley tried to complete the task without Arius, but failed. Oh no! The end. No, wait. That's not how the story went. And you're back. And if you try to do it again, it won't let you. You just run against the wall. If you don't do it right there at the beginning, it will not let you do it, so that is the only time you can get that weird little ending. But it's fun. But with that being said, how much more time do I need to eat up for you guys? Or are we good to move on to the next person? Because I don't want to hold them up too long either.
No, we're good to move on. If you'd like to have some last words to say to the chat before we go.
No, actually, I don't have too much to say. Because of work and life, I don't stream too much. But if you can catch me on Twitch, you'll generally find me speedrunning. I am actually trying to practice my first ever RPG speedrun. So if you love JRPGs in the line of like Chrono Cross, check out Chained Echoes. It's a fantastic game, fantastic soundtrack, and it's a fun speedrun so far. So it's my first tackling like that, but it's been a blast. Other than that, yeah. Like, I'll try to be on when I can. It's usually Sundays, but if I can get some time in the middle of the week, we can do that. But with that being said, I will pass it off over to the staff for this, and then we can get on going with the rest of it. Thanks a lot for the donations during the run. Glad y'all enjoyed it.
All right, and thank you very much for your run. Can confirm Chained Echoes is a fantastic game. But for now, we gotta get ready for Shenmue 2, an any % New Game Plus with Count Gooby. So we'll be right back.